The hinges are blown off.
Restrictions are gone.
Boundaries are open.
Limitations are only what you make them.
You've stepped into a clearing.
You're out of the box.
With Toppie Lincicome. A tribute to the Ragtag Warrior. Beware of that little ragtag band of misfits walking onto your field of competition. You might be calling them slack-jawed. You might laugh at their lack of sophistication. But if you're not careful at the end of the game, you may end up calling them champ. They may not appear much of a threat, that scrappy little sandlot bunch. But is it possible you've been blinded by your own praise? You may be disciplined, but do you got what they got? You know, that love of the game. That grit, that reckless abandon that breathes life into the very soul of the game. You better watch out. You may be spit polished and fit to the teeth, conditioned and traditioned, and you're the ultimate warrior. You've gone head to head and toes to toe and nose to nose against the best of the best, and you walked away the better. Don't forget, they've got nothing to lose, and you've got a lot of face to cover. Be mindful, just because the odd makers have deemed you the favorite, that doesn't mean you won't end up finding your north end pointing south as you tumble helplessly as that unseemly bunch plows through your line, making a rambling dash for the goal. Their method and madness may just leave you in a most undignified position, marked by grass stains and eating the dust as they walk away with that trophy you thought was your birthright. Bring on a David versus Goliath match any day of the week and the stadiums fill up. Standing room only. Why? Because in some fashion or another, we've all been there, or at least dreamt of being there. And when the miracle is pulled off, when David betters Goliath, it's a charge of energy and a rare sight to see. Let's face it, in the real world, David gets creamed by Goliath most of the time, but when it is least expected, the air is filled with electricity, lightning strikes, and we're all jazzed to just have seen it when that stone hits that one spot. Sometimes it happens in a playoff, sometimes it happens at an exhibition, sometimes it happens when it counts the most. It was World War II, Nazi Germany, a little piece of real estate known as the Siegfried Line. It was a Nazi stronghold and a point of propaganda showing the strength and power of Hitler's superior race. The Allies knew they were going to have to take the Siegfried Line if they were going to win the war. So a mission was brought together. They drew it up. Everything was planned. It was go time. But then, just like the military, hurry up and wait, suddenly there came an order. Stop. Don't go. Well, not everybody got that message. The advanced troops got the message, and so did the reinforcements, but there was a little group of ragtag warriors known as the Boys of Battery B. They didn't get the message, and despite the fact that advanced troops hadn't advanced, they went ahead. The Siegfried Line, held and entrenched by the Nazi superior forces. Miles of barbed wire, barricade, and booby traps. The Boys of Battery B approached, and no doubt the Nazis must have felt just a little smug to see that ragtag team. But when the Boys of Battery B got there, they engaged. When the smoke of battle cleared, a message came down to headquarters. The Siegfried Line has been penetrated. Hitler's elite forces have been defeated by the farm boys and the factory workers and the just good old common folks like you and me. The folks that we now look up to and to this day we call the greatest generation. Well, I gotta admit, I'm pretty partial to that story. After all, one of those boys from Battery B, well, he was my dad. Every year on November the 11th, we set aside the day to show gratitude to our veterans, the people who went out and fought for our freedom. But why make it a day? Let's make it a lifestyle. Whenever we see somebody wearing that cap that says veteran, whether it's World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or, well, even those battles and wars we're having up there in the Gulf and in the desert, just walk up to those folks and shake their hand and say thank you for your service to our nation. And ladies, do those old fellas in the wheelchair a favor. Go over there and give them a hug and we'll kiss them on their old bald head. But remember, looks can be deceiving. There may be some grit still left in that old ragtag warrior. But hey, let him have his fun. Why not? To those of you who fought and those of you who are fighting, I want to say thanks. And Dad, you've gone to the other side, but you're still my hero. The nut doesn't fall too far from the tree. You're the one who took me out of the box.
You've been out of the box.
With Toppie Lincicome.
Going back?
No, I like it out here.
It's your decision.